So I went to install Windows 10 on this machine using this flash drive here, and this machine doesn't like to boot off of, well, I shouldn't say doesn't like to, more like just doesn't boot off a USB. There's no way of setting that in the BIOS. And this case does not have, I mean, even though there are brackets here to have installed a DVD drive or like a 5.25 bay unit, like, it's just install something in there. There's no, it's all closed off in the front. There's no bay in the front there. So what I had done is I took this. I mean, it doesn't look great, but it's behind the drive anyways. I took this little like lip that was designed to hold the drive that you would put in there, and I took a hammer and a pair of pliers and just kind of bent it downwards and flattened it out some. And I did it on both of them here. Flattened them out. And it looks better on the inside of the machine, and also it gave me another place to put a drive. So instead of just having room for two drives, 1, 2, I now have 3. Because I mean, there was nothing else to stick up that you could stick up here anyhow, even if you wanted to. So that's what happened there. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. This motherboard doesn't boot from the USB like I thought it might. And so here I am connecting this way. That's how I'm going to be doing installing the OS. Excuse me. Okay, so I made a DVD of the newest version of Windows 10. We got this here connected. Let's power things back on again. And so to me, when I look at the phone taking the video, those look a little bit more. Well, now that the monitor turned on, it changed a bit. But initially, I saw more like a bluish green color, and I assume that's because of the blue graphics card in there. And we also got that CPU cooler, which is also blue. And what I did notice is that the two red ones at the front and in the back are washed out quite a bit by the green and the blue. So my plan is to get a red LED strip to just kind of balance it out some. And also, normally I wouldn't put, let's see here. Get in there. All right. Normally I wouldn't put a fan right here, because it's so close to the front that front fan could just kind of suck the air out and right up before it ever reaches the CPU, because it's pretty far away. Yeah, as a matter of fact, there's almost 2 fans right there that could just pretty much suck the air up and out. But the only reason why I populated it all like this is because I was looking to use up those fans, and I was trying to blend as much of our RGB as possible just by fans without using like actual RGB software and things like that. So yeah, again, I probably wouldn't normally in most cases have populated all of the front like that, with there being that much of a gap between the front of the case and the CPU cooler. Especially one so small, I might actually be choking out some of that air. It is possible. Fortunately, the back is kind of close enough that it'll be doing somewhat of a push-pull, even though the fan isn't exactly right up against the even though the back fan isn't right up against the cooler. Okay, so here we are. The computer is working. I just got to install the operating system, and that's what we're about to do next. so long as everything just kind of works here. So drop in the DVD for Windows. Okay. So I mean, it does look kind of nice with the red blue. I mean, even though it gets washed out a little bit, I'm just hoping to add a red strip. It will kind of make the reds pop out a little bit more. It looks like it might be going somewhere. Here we go. Alright, Windows 10 is installing. We'll be back when this is finished. Okay, well, I have not encountered this one before. So I'm trying to install Windows 10. The drive that I've had to connect this way, because the motherboard doesn't want to boot from the USB. So I did it. So I'm doing it this way. I got a DVD in there. It was sitting there with the cursor blinking on a black screen for, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes, and then this popped up. So yeah, I guess we'll be back again. Hopefully I can get Windows 10 installed on here. This is something new. Okay, so I think I know what the problem is with the install issue. You might see that I have 4 DIMMs in there, right? Okay, so here's the thing. For whatever reason, if I have 4 2 gig sticks in there, in the BIOS it actually shows 8 gigs of RAM. Right now I have 5 gigs in there, 2 2 sticks, and 2 512 sticks. And the 2 512 sticks I just threw in there to fill up 2 empty slots, thinking it wasn't really going to matter if the motherboard wasn't really going to use or access those sticks anyhow. But it turns out that this motherboard is very, very, very specific about it. One, apparently it doesn't support DIMMs with RAM on both sides, as opposed to RAM with just one-sided sticks. And the other thing is, actually, come to think of it, these extra ones that I threw in here, if I can just get it out of there, happen to be single slot. I mean, not single slot, excuse me, single-sided. If I could just get it out of this slot here. I didn't think this was going to be this complicated, and I think I actually unpopped the wrong one. I did. That's what the issue was. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so this has chips on both sides. This one, I have to pull them out to change them out anyhow. Wow, these are really in there. And actually, honestly, I didn't think this was going to be this difficult. I just don't want the chip to go flying down when I pop it out. Okay. And these are single-sided. Apparently, this motherboard only supports single-sided if you're using certain slots. And the other thing is that it only supports up to 1 gig modules in each slot. So technically I would have to have 4 1 gig sticks, all of the same timings and same densities, and I believe they all have to be single-sided, which is strange because in the list of supported RAM, it actually shows dual-sided, so I don't understand it really. Essentially, what I'm going to have to do is get different RAM for it. I do happen to have the default sticks. I say default. I mean the sticks that came with the motherboard, which are only 2 512 sticks, but they worked, and there was an operating system on this. This had XP on it. So I guess what I'm going to try doing is the ultimate bottleneck for right now and slap those two 512s in there and see if I can't even get Windows 10 to install with 1 gig of RAM, which I kind of doubt, but maybe. I mean, it says supposedly that you can run this on 1 gig processor with so much RAM. I forget how much RAM it was now. Might have been 512. Maybe that was Vista. Honestly, I don't remember at right at this moment. But that's what I'm going to try. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to get different RAM put in this. Okay. Okay, well, excuse me. Okay, well, it's still doing it. Happened a little faster this time, but it's still doing it. We've got 2 sticks of RAM in there, 512 megabytes each, so, you know, a gig of RAM, Corsair, 5400 C4. Those are the sticks that came with the machine. And this is what we're getting while attempting to get Windows to install. So I don't know. I'll figure this out some way or another. I think what I might be able to do is I may actually try installing Windows on a different Intel machine and just see if that makes the difference. Because this is weird. Although I would actually like to see it install the operating system, to be honest. Alright, well, there we are so far. Failure.